Alrighty, time to modify our burn barrel with our new turbo setup. In the last configuration we had, we literally ran it off this one little turbo. It was fed with these pipes. Now we're upgrading to these 3 giant semi-turbos. So that should be a huge difference compared to our little guy over there. So hopefully this gets interesting. But to start our modifications, I'm going to chop off our wood fill port here and relocate it off to the side or something, because we're going to have the center of the barrel be our main feed. So then we'll also have to cut these up pipes they used to feed that one. So we'll just chop them and cap them off. And then from this turbo, it'll feed these 2. And these 2 will suck in the fresh air and compound them together and feed this one.
I am off to invisible grounds. Don't know when to stop. Returning, it's not the way for me. Only a mile to go. Somewhere I belong. I'll see it clearer now. I'm learning the path as I go. Everybody knows it's spoken on the radio. There is a truth in the lies. I didn't leave you twice. There's no tomorrow here. I feel I'm all out of time. So tell me you stay behind and make sure I get to the end.
Alright, last time we ran the burn barrel with the little turbo setup, I had it mounted to the flatbed of my truck. But for this new burn barrel, we're going to go in a different direction because I don't want it strapped to a truck, because we almost lost my truck last time in the blaze of glory. Oh my god! So this time I'm going to mount the barrel to a trailer. So here's part of the frame from that RC controlled half truck that we jumped a while back. And it's going to make a perfect platform to mount the burn barrel to. So I took these thick flat leaf springs and cut them down. And they're going to span across the frame like this. And I'll bolt to the frame. I'll probably also weld. And then the burn barrel base will bolt to those springs. And hopefully this thing won't be too top heavy. So let's get right back at it. Wow, dude! You can blow me up! You should know that the sponsor for this build is Morgan & Morgan. I don't think you want me to sue you for personal injury since I have them on my side, and they are America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide and more than 800 lawyers. And you guys may also want to check out Morgan & Morgan because they have a proven track record of fighting for you to get full and fair compensation with over $15 billion recovered for clients. And just like how so many other products and services have evolved over the years to become more convenient, nowadays submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is so easy, it's more like just using an app rather than hiring a lawyer. So if you're injured in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. It's so easy, you can submit a claim in 8 clicks or less without even having to leave your couch. So for more information, go to floridapeople.com/HunterGoodrich or dial #law from your cell phone. This is a paid advertisement. Alright, we're going to be using these flanges to go from steel to aluminum, because all these turbo housings, at least on the compressor side, is aluminum. So we'll take aluminum, weld it to these lips, and then bolt to steel. Alrighty, so our middle turbo here bolts to the top of the burn barrel. And then once the exhaust goes through and exits out of it, it's going to split and feed our other two turbos. So I'm working on this little manifold sort of deal here. And then I'm going to have a place like this that I weld to either side, and that has the pattern for the other turbos. So this plate is bolted to this turbo now, and I'm going to weld the heads of these bolts, and then this will be on the inside, so then we just have to unscrew the nuts on the backside to undo the turbos. And yeah, this is totally just going to be a box for the exhaust to flow through, so there'll be a lot of like sharp turns it has to do. Same with the intake, so feel free to hate on my plumbing here. But the goal is to just get this done as simply as possible. Basically just with plate steel and scrap tubing I have, because we ain't building no race car. We just got to build something that burns firewood very efficiently. So let's get back to welding. Alrighty, these turbos are bolted to the manifold. Now before I weld this whole top plate to box this in, I need to place this on the middle turbo and weld it. Oh my gosh, it's getting heavy. I'm just going to center this up, make it look nice and pretty. Let's weld this. As you can see, there's kind of that groove I left. So I'm just burying some weld down into the groove and then catching those two lips. All right, that's fully welded. Now I'll put this lid on. This thing is getting heavy, oh my goodness.
Returning is not the way for me. Only a mile to go. Somewhere I belong. I see it clearer now. I feel like I'm all out of time. So tell me you stay behind. Make sure I get to the
All right, folks, I just whipped these up. This is our oil feed line, and this is our oil drain line. Now these are playing a critical role because we need to flow as much oil as we can to these turbos, as well as drain it out effectively, because we need the oil to lubricate the turbos well, and the oil is going to act like a cooling mechanism to keep the internals of the turbos healthy, because these things are constantly going to be at the brink of failure, because they're going to see much higher temperatures than what they're used to seeing on a diesel engine. Alrighty, so this manifold goes in. On the top I have these flare couplings so that we can unscrew each side independently and get this out. And then on the bottom, it's just this flat flange with bolts. So we're gonna put some high tip sealant on all these flange surfaces. Oh yeah, turbos are up there. It's a beautiful sight. Got a new charge pipe feeding down to the base of the barrel to feed into the base of the fire, make it nice and hot down there. And then all that air will swirl. And that should help to keep all the debris down low so that only clean exhaust gas is going through our turbos. And then I did cut off our old charge pipe because it choked down to just like less than 2 inches here. So this is a little bit bigger of a pipe. It's the same diameter as the outlet of our turbo. Also at the front of the trailer, I put these little scrap pieces of metal in with these tabs. So that's gonna hold our barrel. So this whole barrel will be full of waste oil to lubricate and cool our turbos. And then I have the oil pump for my first IDI that's going to pump the oil. I just ground down the shaft to hex so that we can drive it with a drill. So all that's left is to fill this up with oil, run our oil feed line and our drain line back to the barrel, and then this thing will be ready to fire up. Alrighty, I'm standing on top of the barrel now to give you guys one final rundown on how all this works, in case you've been lost this whole time. So, we'll have this whole thing full of firewood. The smoke from that fire will feed through here and into our first turbo, swirl around, drive its turbine wheel. Then after it goes through this turbo, it comes out and splits and feeds into these two turbos, which spins their turbine wheels. And then fresh air is going to be sucked in through these two turbos. And from those two, they combine into this pipe, feed over here, drop down into the mouth of this turbo for it to get compressed again. And all that pressurized air will feed to the very base of the fire, fueling it with more oxygen than it knows what to do with. And it'll just keep burning hotter and hotter and putting off more smoke, which is just going to drive the system even further. I can't wait to do a test fire with this thing. So make sure you guys are subscribed because you're not going to want to miss out on this. And I'll see you here shortly because I have a feeling things are going to get real rowdy.